Okay, so 9/11 happened, and bin Laden was essentially a ghost.
Yeah, he was a ghost the whole time.
Yeah.
Tora Bora, they almost got him.
Right, that was in Afghanistan.
Yes.
Right, I remember at one point they came close to actually getting
Really
him.
close. That we were just so young, so new to the war that we thought we could negotiate his capture by the locals and then hand him over. It just didn't work out that way.
So then Operation Neptune Spear came around. When did you first hear about it?
I heard about it April 2011, so about 3 weeks before we launched. And I just finished a trip to Afghanistan as a senior enlisted advisor of a couple different outstations. So I was actually living again in Jalalabad I was at a CIA place, which is funny. You should see the way they roll up. It's like a European resort. They got kick-ass gyms, outdoor CrossFit stuff. They got a bar with happy hour every night. I had my own room with a shower, and then it was awesome. And I didn't know at the time, but I'm actually dealing with some of the bin Laden team. They were very tight-lipped about what they were doing. So we came back after that trip right around March of 11, and then I found out about bin Laden in April.
Right. So based on intelligence, they had located a house in Pakistan.
Yes.
The house was built in 2004.
Mm-hmm.
It was a 3-story compound at the end of a narrow dirt road.
Yes.
About 2.5 miles from the city Abbottabad?
Abbottabad, yeah.
Abbottabad. Abbottabad is about 100 miles from the Afghanistani border. Now, the thing about this house, which is different, is that it's on a plot that's 8 times larger than all the other houses around it. It had 18-foot concrete walls with barbed wire,
Yep.
2 security gates. There's a 3rd-floor balcony with another 7-foot privacy wall, no internet, no landline phones, and they would burn their garbage.
Burn in the trash, yep. Have their own animals inside, yeah.
And based on, drones and satellites, they would see this kind of tall man that would walk around in the courtyard and kind of, walk around, but they didn't have, enough high definition type of cameras to say that's really him. It's just a tall guy, might be bin Laden, might not be bin Laden.
They were calling him the pacer.
The pacing
and
man, right.
What they were now these analysts are really good too. When I met the CIA team, because it was funny before, we joke about the worst thing about the CIA is they make too many movies about the CIA and they think they're cool. This team was that cool, and they could just, based on the way he was walking, the time of day, his shadows, how tall he was. So they got him about 6'4", and they noticed that he sometimes would stop to talk to people in the compound that were doing menial tasks, but he never helped, which means he's very important. He doesn't do that shit. So the woman who was basically running that team was 100% convinced that was bin Laden, and she's the reason that we actually went.
Okay. So there was a team of 28 people.
28 people at first, because we had some guys that were there in case somebody got hurt, went down. But we went in with 23, not including the pilots and the aircrew.
Right. You were originally in South Beach, but then you got sent back to Virginia Beach.
Mm-hmm.
When you got sent to Virginia Beach, they tell you what this was?
No. They brought 28 of us into a room, and the way it started was they said, we found a thing, and this thing is in a house, and this house is in a bowl in a country, and you guys are going to go in there and get this thing. You're going to bring it back to us and show it to us.
Okay,
that's how it started. And literally it's like, okay, no problem. What's the thing? Well, we can't tell you. Okay. Which country? Can't tell you. Where's the bowl? Can't tell you. How we get there? Can't tell you. How much air support we got? None. Okay. That was it. And then they started saying other stuff like, there's these weird power lines between countries or whatever, the cables, and it's like, I don't even know how to repair them. I'm not a hard hat. What are you talking about? Blah, blah, blah. And here's where it got interesting, though. They said, well, you're not bringing any Air Force guys with you. You're bringing just Navy SEALs. And that's important because our Air Force guys are the best at what they do. We have the paramedics, the PJs, who are basically like, it's going with a surgeon who knows how to fight. And then you get your CCT, who are the true silent professionals. The most dangerous man on the mountain is the CCT. He calls in the bombs. He's not coming either, just SEALs. So if you used to carry a radio, guess what? You're the radio guy. If you used to be a medic, you're the medic. So we're getting our gear adjusted to whatever the hell, and we don't know why we're not bringing the Air Force. And then like dudes would come up to us, like, our big lockers look like cages. Dudes would come up from other squadrons, like Gold Squadron, and say, hey, dude, what's this super secret mission? And I remember going, I don't know. And they go, come on, you can tell me. I'm like, I have no fucking idea. I'm just fixing my gear up. And so that happened day after day. And like this is where a lot of animosity started, because other shooters that are at SEAL Team 6, the Tier 1 unit, they don't even know what it is. So they're like, well, I thought I was a Tier 1 guy. Why can't I know? This is bullshit. So there's automatically that shit starts. So we're getting our gear ready, and finally on a Friday, they said, okay, dude, go home, be with your kids, have some scotch when they go to sleep, wake up Sunday, get your ass back here like 05. We're going to drive down to North Carolina. We're going to read you in on what we're doing. So we're all tired. It's Friday. It's like, okay, well, who's going to be at the read-in? And they're like, well, the vice president, the secretary of defense, the secretary of the Navy. It's like, what the fuck? And they're going down this list, and they said like State Department, whatever, and CTC pad, blah, blah, blah. And I caught that. I'm like, CTC, that's CIA, counterterror, Pakistan, Afghanistan, because we thought we're going into Libya because the Arab Spring just started. Like we're going after Gaddafi. Why would the Afghan be there if we're not going to Libya? So I went home and thought about this. We came back on Sunday. I'm in a car with 4 dudes, 2 guys in front of me, and actually my boss is sitting next to me. And I explained to them exactly what I just said to you. And I said, this isn't Gaddafi. This is bin Laden. They found Osama bin Laden. My boss looked at me and he goes, that's exactly what I was just thinking. So he and I are just calmly discussing, and this is a true story. My buddy is driving the van. He looks at me in the rearview mirror, and I kid you not, he goes, man, Nizro, that's my nickname. Nizro, if we kill Osama bin Laden, I will suck your dick. So that was embarrassing.
I hope we didn't carry through on
Well,
that.
3 weeks to the day. 3 weeks to the day, we're literally standing over his body, and I go, hey, homie, now's as good a time as any. And he goes, well, fuck you. I'm like, well, you said it. So he didn't, no, we never collected.
Okay, so you said the next meeting was going to include the vice president.
Well, he didn't show up, but that's
that
what
was going to be
thinking.
Biden, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So we were thinking, I mean, that the vice president doesn't need to be in a briefing for a mission we're going to do unless it's Osama bin Laden.
So at one point, you are told that you're going to go kill bin
This
Laden.
is the drive down. We had that conversation. Then we get to a spot, this weird base with this little teeny house, a 1-story classroom. Like we walk in, there's half a pot of coffee and a dozen donuts, and then a room with an armed guard. And we go in there. There's this group of people sitting over here. And the commanding officer, SEAL Team 6, walks in front of us and said, all right, guys, the reason you're here is this is as close as we've ever been to Osama bin Laden. And so we like look around the room, and it was so cool because there was no cheering or high-fiving. It was, okay, we going right now? We're ready.
Okay. How'd you feel when you realized you're going to be part of the team
What an honor.
go get
What an honor.
bin Laden?
Just, I mean, when I first got to SEAL Team 6, like I remember now that I'm at SEAL Team 6, I'm going to work with Delta Force. Maybe I'll meet the guy that's going to kill bin Laden. That's that level. But then when they said, well, you're the team, it's like, wow, just an honor. I know how good these dudes are. And I was in a position too, even at SEAL Team 6, as a senior dude, I loved waking up in the morning because every single day I could go to work with people who were way better than me. It was just awesome. But now it's like part of this team. And they picked us based on the most qualified, most experienced dudes available. Now I was one of that 23. It was awesome.
Okay, so the CIA made an exact model of that house.
Yeah.
For you guys to train out.
To the tree, yes.
To the tree.
Exact model.
So now you have the bin Laden house, where in North Carolina?
Yes. So we have the big house made out of like Connex boxes. Then we have the model, which is about the size of a dining room table to scale. Yeah.
Right. And you guys start doing 12-hour training missions.
Minimum of 12
in
hours.
this house.
Yeah.
Okay, this is the way we're going to do it. We're going to come in this way.
Well, they were good enough to give us tactical control, meaning the powers that be, they're going to send us, let us tell you what we're going to do when we get there. And they were very cool about letting us. So we came up with the perfect plan, and we rehearsed that plan every single day.